Hello, James Preston with you, and you're watching Kalkine TV live from our studios in Sydney. This is the Mid-Market Pulse. Let's have a look at how the ASX 200 traded into the afternoon. Australian shares are trading lower this afternoon, albeit pairing some of the early losses led by a fall in infotech, financials, real estate and industrial stocks. The concerns over coronavirus lockdowns and increased restrictions weighed on the market sentiment, which dragged down several stocks. Over the weekend, the country reported a sharp rise in locally acquired COVID-19 cases. Sydney's list of exposure sites increased to over 300, while the state government has warned that the Delta outbreak would get worse before it gets better. The government is working on a rescue package for businesses to deal with the pandemic. The S&P ASX 200 is trading lower by 7.7 points, or 0.11%, at 7,300 during the mid-market session. Early today, the index opened on a weak note, undermining firm cues from the US market. On Friday, Wall Street ended mostly higher as a weaker than expected inflation data and news that US President Joe Biden has signed a bipartisan infrastructure deal boosted market sentiment. Moving on to the sectoral front, and 7 of the 11 sectoral indices are trading in the red. The information technology sector emerged as the top loser, falling 3%. Among others, financial, telecom, AREITs, industrials, utilities and consumer discretionary also witnessed selling pressure. On the other hand, consumer staple is the top performer with a 1.24% gain. Energy and healthcare sectors also traded higher with some decent gains. Among the individual stocks, Redbubble, a global online marketplace for print-on-demand products, is the top percentage gainer on the ASX, rising an impressive 6.2% to Australian $3.65. Online retailers Kogan and supermarket giant Woolworths are also among the top gainers. On the flip side, Australian gold producer Gold Road Resources was the worst performer on the ASX, falling a staggering 7.75% to Australian $1.32. Buy now, pay later firm Afterpay and travel agency Flight Centre are also reeling under selling pressure. On that note, let us now focus on the ASX listed shares that are making the news today. First up, shares of Metcash rose 1.9% to $3.73 after the Australian business conglomerate reported a sharp turnaround in its profit for the fiscal year of 2021. This was attributed to strong sales growth across all verticals and an increase in local shopping amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The grocery, liquor and hardware supplier reported a net profit of $239 million for the financial year of 2021, compared to a loss of $56.8 million in the previous fiscal year. Group revenue, including charge-through sales, rose 10.1% to Australian $16.4 billion. The company has also declared a final dividend of 9.5 Australian cents per share, bringing the full dividend to 17.5 Australian cents. It's also announced an off-market share buyback of up to $175 million, as well as a deal to increase its stake in Total Tools to 85%. Moving on to the next piece of news, an Australian infection prevention company, Nanosonics, has announced that it will launch a new digital product platform offering digital traceability, reporting and compliance, Nanosonics Audit Pro. The platform will be launched on the Association for Professionals in Infection Control Conference in the United States on the 28th of June 2021. A national rollout across the United States is anticipated to then commence from July 2021. Nanosonics Audit Pro represents an opportunity to improve and standardise infection control compliance across a broad range of medical instruments to support the management of healthcare-acquired infection risk, ultimately supporting best patient care. Following the announcement, shares of Nanosonics Audit Pro gained 0.5% to $6. Moving on, and buy now, pay later provider Splitit Limited has said in an ASX filing that it has entered into a new partnership with leading Middle East payment solution provider Tabby Incorporated. New strategic partnerships provide entry into rapidly growing United Arab Emirates and Saudi markets. The expansion of technology will also accelerate growth opportunities and broaden future revenue streams. Tabby will integrate Splitit's instalment payment platform through a white label solution to allow its merchants to offer instalments on credit cards. The integration of Splitit will also allow Tabby to expand its offering to new merchant categories, such as those with higher average order values. The shares of Splitit are trading 0.9% lower at 57 Australian cents. And now it's time for a very short break here on Kalkine TV, but stay with us as I'll be back with you in just a moment for more updates.
Hi, this is Andy Lou broadcasting from Kalkine Media Studio in Australia, and I'll be hosting the new Kalkine Wellness Show. The half-hour show will cover topics from how wellness as a concept has become even more significant during COVID, to how becoming vegan may improve your health, and much more. We are excited to showcase our live streaming show to our audience of millions overseas and in Australia. Tune in to Kalkine TV and join me.
Thanks for joining us on Kalkine TV. James Preston with you live from Sydney, and this is the Mid-Market Pulse Show. Let's now take a look at more ASX listed companies that are in the news today. Prospect Resources declared the completion of commissioning and construction at the Arcadia Lithium Project pilot plant, as well as the start of new production. The pilot plant is being built and operated to produce high-purity petalite samples for Prospect's future technical customer base. On June 30, Prospect will welcome offtake partner Cinnamine Resources and presidential representatives from several government ministries to the site to oversee the first transfer product to Cinnamine Resources. Moving on to the next piece of news, and Family Zone Cyber Safety Limited has secured binding commitments to raise $23 million before costs by issuing nearly 43 million additional fully paid ordinary shares at an issue price of 53.5 cents per share. The company also declared that it had signed a non-binding letter of intent to acquire NetRef, a leading educational technology company located in the United States. NetRef is a complete classroom management and learning analytics application that has quickly grown to serve millions of students since its recent inception. Shifting gears now, and Rimfire Pacific Mining NL announced the execution of an earn-in and joint venture agreement with Golden Plains Resources for the Avondale project. The farm out will accelerate and expand Rimfire's exploration strategy. Golden Plains Resources has committed to pay Australian $1 million to fund exploration activities in the first year of the agreement. Moving on to the next piece of news, and Iceni Gold Limited, the Perth-based gold explorer, reported that the drilling campaign at the Deep Well target has now been completed. ICL has identified 3 diamond drill holes with intersects of multiple narrow zones. The zones are highly visible, with bright hematite alterations surrounding the quartz veining in them. It has notable tourmaline and pyrite as well in the deposits. Let's now take a look at the next share-making news, and Kronos Australia Limited, the health and wellness company, has launched its new personal care brand in Asia. The products will be sold by Kronos through retailers and directly to consumers via e-commerce channels. The new cannabidiol, commonly known as CBD brand Safe, has been launched in the key North Asian markets of Japan and also Hong Kong. The initial Safe range includes a CBD cleanser, Ablution, and a CBD moisturiser, Tranquility. Both are made in Japan and contain the same unique blend of pure essential oils suitable for sensitive skin. Safe products are not yet available in Australia for a variety of regulatory reasons. Moving on to the next share, and construction materials, equipment and service provider Mars Group Holdings has acquired several strategic and complementary acquisitions to support continued growth across business segments. The company also shared that it has negotiated increased headroom and more flexible covenants for its core Australian bank financing facilities. The agreement has been reached to upsize the existing Australian debt facilities from $160 million to $200 million. Also, consent has been secured to enable MGH to source project finance funding of up to an additional 100 million Australian dollars for nominated commercial property development projects. And just before we go to our final break, clinical stage biotechnology firm Cynata Therapeutics Limited has appointed a known clinical research firm, Data Farm Australia, to help conduct and manage the proposed clinical trial of Cynata's Chimeras TM mesenchymal stem cell product in diabetic foot ulcers. The involvement of Data Farm shows an essential milestone towards starting the trial. Stay with us here on Kalkine TV. After a very short break, we dive headfirst into the Asian markets to wrap up the mid-market pulse.
Crypto Talk by Kalkine. The crypto market has been red hot given the Bitcoin rally since the past year. And now the most famous cryptocurrency has got competitors, Dogecoin and Ethereum. If the crypto market excites you, tune in with me, Sage, to know the latest developments about the existing digital currencies and the new ones that are joining the race. I'll help you understand the opportunities and the risks the crypto market has in store for you. For all the digital currency related developments, continue watching Crypto Talk by Kalkine.
Welcome back to Kalkine TV. James Preston with you. It's great to have your company live from our studios in Sydney. This is the Mid-Market Pulse Show and it's time to get Oriental. Let's now check out the Asian markets. Asian markets are trading mostly lower in the opening trade, undermining firm cues from Wall Street. Japan's Nikkei trades lower by 0.17% and China's Shanghai Composite drops 0.14%. Seoul's Kospi falls 0.3%, while Taiwan's weighted index trades up with marginal gains. New Zealand's benchmark S&P NZX 50 edges lower by the afternoon. On Friday, Wall Street notched broad gains with the S&P 500 index closing at a record high. Blue chip S&P 500 rose 0.34%, the Dow Jones surged 0.71%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite finished with marginal losses. Among individual stocks, Elon Musk-led Tesla had remarkable gains last week, with the electric car maker's shares rising nearly 10%. The sharp rally in Tesla shares were fueled by a slew of positive developments, including volatile Bitcoin trading, news that the automaker may open its charging network to other automakers next year. However, in a fresh development, Tesla has begun recalling nearly 300,000 vehicles in China over a safety risk concerning the vehicle's cruise control feature. As per the report, the move is linked to imported Model 3 and Model Y cars for an online software update related to assisted driving, with owners not required to return their vehicles. And lastly, casting an eye over the crypto space, and cryptocurrencies were flashing in green during Asian trading hour on Monday, staging a recovery after a volatile trade last week. The ongoing concerns about regulatory crackdowns and environmental issues dented demand for Bitcoin and other digital coins in the last few months. In a fresh development, Britain's Financial Conduct Authority has banned Binance, a popular cryptocurrency exchange platform, from offering certain services in the country without the prior written consent of the authority. The UK's financial watchdog has alleged the cryptocurrency exchange lacked authorisation. Binance allows investors to buy and trade cryptocurrencies online. Bitcoin, the largest cryptocurrency by market value, was trading 4.5% higher at US $34,397 at the time of reporting. The price of Bitcoin has struggled near the US $35,000 level as sellers react to extreme overbought conditions since March. The concerns over tighter monetary policy in the US also dented demand for cryptos. Ether, the second largest crypto, gained 5.7% to US $1,968. In a similar trend, the meme currency Dogecoin was up 2.6% at 25.65 US cents. Well, that's all for now. Stay tuned for more live updates on Kalkine TV across the economy, markets and sectors. We'll be back in a while with our next live show, The Market Movers.